Welcome back to One Pose a Day for 100 days. Thank you so much for your patience during my technical difficulties and issues. Ended up, I had to get a whole new computer, took a while, and had to get it set up. But here we are, we're back. Thank you so much. So, today's practice is called cow face pose or Gomukhasana. There's several ways you can do this. You'll start to feel like a pretzel when you come into the full pose, which I'll demonstrate the full pose before you get into the position. Just watch, and then I'm going to show some versions, things to think about, and we'll come practice together. So in Gomukhasana, when you're on the floor, I'm going to open up my blanket just to give my knees a little bit more padding. You can start in the pose when you're sitting in Dandasana with your legs straight. We'll take one foot under the one thigh and bring it just opposite hip. And then we'll bend the other knee and bring that foot to the opposite hip. So you can imagine this is the cow's mouth. And so this is really tight on the hips. Sometimes you might have a knee that's really high. Option here to use a block in between the knees. Sometimes you're going to find that you're really tipping to one side. So typically that's the side where it's the opposite of the knee that's on top. So in this case, my left knee's on top, so I might be tipping a little bit more over to my right side so I could place the blanket more under my left hip. Now, so this is not so important. You can come into any other position until the hips start to open up into maybe a cross-leg pose, a Baddha Konasana pose, any position that's going to allow you to sit up nice and tall. You could also be on your knees. This is a great position, sitting on heels or a block, to allow you to sit up nice and tall for the arm portion of the stretch, which is really the main focus for opening up the shoulders. Another option is to sit in a chair, which allows you to sit up nice and tall, legs, knees, feet on the floor, knees in line with your hips, or you can cross one knee over the other depending on what position we're coming to on the floor. So you can use a chair. We definitely all need a strap. Well, you may not need a strap, I'll tell you why, but strap is good to have nearby. All right, so before we get started, let's just do a little bit of a warm up for the shoulders. We'll take our nice arriving breaths as we do. Wherever you're at, standing, sitting tall, take your arms out to the side, and let's take a nice inhale, reaching our palms overhead. And exhale, lowering. Let's do a few more. Adding the head raise and look up towards the hands. And exhale, lower chin to chest. Let's do two more, allowing yourself to arrive to your one pose practice today. Letting everything else outside go. And actually, let's do one more. We'll draw the palms overhead and exhale, palms together and down. Let your arms relax by your side. Let's take a few nice shoulder circles. Really important to warm up. This is a big stretch for the shoulders. So remember to listen into your body, change direction, and do what feels right today. If you have any injuries, make the pose really soft, really gentle, and not really forcing into it. As the shoulders come down, let's open the shoulders and the arms and then roll them forward. Take a nice inhale as you open and exhale as you round. You can add the head like a little cat-cow. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Two more times. Want to make sure we've warmed up sufficiently the shoulders. Next time you roll them open, keep the shoulders open and relax the arms. All right, let's come. You can either come to sit or let's try the floor. Sit in a chair or try the floor. Grab your strap. I'm going to start sitting on my blanket. My blanket's a little bit opened up. Remember, I want some padding for my knees. Start with the legs straight. I'm going to mirror you, so you'll be taking your right foot under your left leg and bring that heel right outside your hip. You're not sitting on it per se, you're sitting on the blanket. And then take that left knee, take the foot across it and just outside your right hip. So now an option here that helps a little bit, press yourself onto your knees, and that helps to bring the knees in a little bit tighter, and I sit back down. Now just notice if you're leaning one side or the other, maybe you can take your blanket onto the side where you feel where you're tipping over to and sit the other hip on your mat. Now if you're sitting in your chair, option to take your left knee over your right knee or just have both feet on the floor comfortably. Let's grab our strap. You'll take the strap over your right shoulder, opposite shoulder of the knee that's on top, and have it nice and even so you've got some length in the back. And then you'll reach your right arm straight out with the palm facing up. And you're going to reach a little bit out and raise that arm. So you're kind of rotating internally so that pinky is facing inwards. And use the opposite hand, your left hand, to kind of grab that tricep. Press it up and back so that you get right in that shoulder there, straight in line with your right ear. And then you can bend that right hand and right elbow, bring the hand behind the head, and use this left hand to press that elbow, trying to get it up to the ceiling. It might be really tight, your triceps, so we're doing a nice tricep stretch here. Stay where you're at. I'm just going to move a little bit closer. So when you're coming to have your arm right in line, or wherever it's going to be, try not to let your head fall forward. So you want to keep your ears in line with your shoulders. If you're able to reach, grab the arm from the top and pull it gently back. That's just giving you a nice stretch of the triceps. Going to help when we get into our full Gomukhasana pose. And then you're going to try to keep that elbow pointing away from your body. Grab your strap wherever you can reach. You're going to take that opposite arm, your left arm, roll that palm to face back. Try to think of rolling that shoulder back, palms facing behind you. And now you bend the elbow and slide that hand and find your strap. Now, this is my really bad shoulder on my right side. You're looking at my left. And so therefore, my hands are pretty far apart. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're able to grab your own hands, fingers, then gently hold those instead of the strap. And then you're gently pulling in opposite direction and letting the elbows spread away from each other. Keep your head in line with your shoulders so you're not dropping the head forward. Helps if you press your head back into that top arm. And I'll come back into this position so we can see the full pose in our Gomukhasana. Think of sitting up nice and tall. Keep breathing. If you're feeling any twinging pain, release a little bit until you're not, or come all the way out of it. Taking a nice breath is a really good stretch for the shoulders, but it can feel quite intense at times. And we'll take 2 more nice full breaths. Nice stretch for the hips as well as our legs are crossed. And then we'll gently unravel, let go of the strap, release. Take a few nice gentle shoulder circles to loosen them up. Might feel really intense, so remember, take it easy. Lean back into your hands, unrelease the legs. You can wiggle them out, roll them in and out. And then we'll do the other side. So this time we're taking your right foot under the left leg. Oh, opposite, my apologies. Left leg under the right. You want the opposite knee on top. So maybe feel that. And then bring that foot in the side. Now this side could feel differently, just depending on your hips. One side could be tighter than the others. We're removing the strap and taking it to the other side. If you're sitting in your chair, if you've crossed your legs, make sure you uncross the legs and cross the opposite side. If you're on the floor, try that little trick. Lean a little bit forward into the knees. You feel that top knee kind of slide back. Sit back down. Try to sit evenly on both sit bones. And I give a little pull to my feet sometimes to pull them in tighter. And sit up nice and tall. Now if the knees are really far apart, give yourself a block or maybe a pillow you can put in there so the knees have something to press into. And then take that strap opposite shoulder. Reach that arm with the strap straight out. Get a little bit out of that shoulder socket. And then raise the arm up to the ceiling. Remember that pinky is spiraled inward. You can even use the hand, kind of spiral that arm internally. Press and lift. And then we'll bend that elbow. Bring that hand gently behind you or grab from the top. Sit up nice and tall. Take a nice stretch of that tricep muscle there. Few breaths. And then find your strap. Keep that elbow pressing away from the body. Take that opposite arm. You're going to turn the palm backward, but roll that shoulder back. And then bend the elbow. Slide that hand up the back. Wherever you comfortably can, grab your strap. Or maybe you can grab your hands. You might notice the difference on this side from the other side. And then gently pull in the opposite direction. Taking a few nice, full, easeful breaths. Checking in, noticing, making sure you're not feeling any twinging or pain. Come out of it if you are, any numbness or tingling. And then you might notice, just looking at my elbows, those are my cow ears. My knees are my cow lips or mouth. So we're making a little cow face. You can also add into this stretch by leaning slightly forward. You'll feel the hips getting a little bit more stretched there. Let's take 2 more breaths. Coming back to sit up nice and tall. Gently release your strap or your hands. Unravel the arms. Take some nice shoulder circles. Sit back into your hands, uncross the legs, wiggle them out. Roll the legs in and out. And then come back to find your nice prop sitting position, whether on the floor or back in your chair. We'll sit up nice and tall. Again, cow face pose. Really great stretch for the shoulders and the hips. Make sure to be safe. Let's take a nice closing breath together, arms out to the side. Take a nice inhale, palms overhead. Exhale, drawing your palms together and down. I thank you for joining this one pose practice today and sticking with me through my technical troubles. I'll see you again tomorrow.